Bloody bullshit, mate. And then, like, we were chugging along and they added 2 teams to our state. What a load of shit. We are Queensland. This is nonsense. Yeah. Again, I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know. Look, as I said, you have to use some kind of fairish judgment, and I guess least engagement is. I don't know. I feel sorry for Knights fans if it goes through. Anyway, now let's get to Rugby League World Cup, boys. Australia versus New Zealand this week. Wow. England versus Samoa. Wow. So let's get to the first game. Australia versus Lebanon. I'm a bit worried. I know we won 48-4, but the first 14 points was pure individual brilliance that we scored. It was not good. It was not good ball playing. It was not setting decisions on field and spreading them in numbers. It was literally just pure individual brilliance that you can't get away with against the top tier sides. Then there was a period where we started to get into gear and we, put it together. But this is now, I'm very aware there's a possibility they come out this week and they look fucking smick as anything. I'm very aware of that. Mal would know more than me. But this is my concern with the chopping and changing of the halves each game. Now, I think it was good to give the Penrith Panthers boys a rest game 1. But I just wonder, and this is hindsight speaking, but I just wonder, would it have been as clunky if Cleary Munster was the halves as quickly as possible? I'm not sure what the answer is to that, but it's absolutely got to be a question, guys, after watching that game. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree, mate. I think clunky is the right way to put it. 48-4 is a good scoreline, but and I know they haven't played a heap of footy together, but Cleary and Munster, to me, it's evident that they haven't played a heap of footy together. I think it's really obvious. And I'm the same as you, mate. I was really nervous at the end of that game, but then, and we'll talk about them soon, watching New Zealand play, they didn't look fantastic either, to be honest with you. And both teams, as you said, can run out on Saturday morning or whenever it is and look fantastic. We all know what they're capable of. But at the moment, I'm really not sure how this game is going to go. When I have a look at the Kiwi side and the Kangaroos team, I think they're very close, and I think it sort of comes down to individuals for me. Your Latrell Mitchells, your Josh Addo-Carrs. But yeah, mate, I'm a little bit concerned as well. I thought we'd be looking better than this at this point at the start of the World Cup.
It's not about the score; it's the way we got it. If we got 48-4 with a fucking clinical, just precise domination, then I would be like, because there was a period there where Lebanon, and it was in the second half, Lebanon had more play the balls in our 20. That's outrageous. That should not be happening. They should be barely getting a play the ball in it. Now, this is not to disrespect Lebanon. I thought they were amazing. What do you got there, Guru?
I was just going to say, it's the second week in a row we've made more mistakes than the opposition. We made more mistakes than Italy last week. We made 14 errors in this game, and Lebanon only made 11. And I know people will be thinking, oh, yeah, but Australia had more ball. They had 52% possession. You shouldn't be making 14 errors at the end of the day.
Oh, mate, what are we talking about here? We're Australia. We are supposed to be absolutely blasting teams off the park. Timmy, what do you think? Are we alarm bells too much or what?
Yeah, look, I'm not overly concerned. I do think, and the more I talk about this, I feel like I've just been blasting poor old Mao this entire tournament for selections and a few things he's done for a bloke who hasn't looked like losing a game and could potentially cruise to a World Cup title. So I'll give him that. But your boys are on the money with the chopping and changing of halves when Cleary and Munster, who'd never played together, clearly needed time to form a partnership. And we've been being the subject of a few jokes with the amount of times we've dropped the word cohesion in this across the World Cup. But that is what it is. It's about building cohesion, particularly amongst key combinations. And then I think he played DCE and Cleary the match prior in the final group stage game. In this game, he takes Teddy off at halftime, brings DCE back on and goes Munster to fullback. It's like, surely, if anything, you just get them 80 minutes together in the quarterfinal. Yes, look, we were going on to win that game. We weren't going to lose it, but we needed time to put these guys together. And I just don't understand why he's gone about it in the manner that he has. So I think if we are clunky for, what's the do or die against the Kiwis, to a degree, I think Mao's got himself to blame because he hasn't given these combinations a chance to flourish.
Yeah, and when you look at the score in the second half, it was like 12-4 or something. Like, second half of Rugby League, Australia beat Lebanon 12-4. That is crazy. And I know a lot of people are going to say, like, oh, you're being alarmist, and come on, boys, like, you know, they'll click into gear. I honestly, I think they will click into gear, but you cannot tell me that performance didn't raise a lot of concerning questions in regards to cohesiveness. And yes, it's a joke, and but put it this way: look at that England side. Look at that England side. That is a side that seems very cohesive. Seems like they play very simple footy, but they get to points on the field. They pull teams apart. Now, are they as individually brilliant as Australia? I don't think so. Matter of fact, I think there's quite a substantial gap between the individual brilliance of the Australian side and the England side. But are they playing more as the most as a team of any team in the comp right now? Absolutely. I'd say absolutely. And the concern is that if, let's say we fortunately beat the Kiwis, who we know, the thing with the Kiwis, we know they can just turn up out of nowhere and do something special. We know that. So we can't take this for granted of like, oh yeah, they played really poorly against Fiji, we're going to be sweet. If anything, it might have been worse for us because now they're going to be angry. And so then you go, okay, let's say we do get past the Kiwis. Do we have enough individual brilliance to be better than the cohesiveness of the England side is the concern. Now, I still think Australia are favourites. Maybe that's bias in me being an Aussie. But it just surprises me that you get through a half of footy. Yes, you're up by 30 points or whatever. And then you put Munster to fullback. Like, what's the point of that? Like, how does that help Munster? How does that help Cleary? All it does, like, it helps DCE get some more game time. I don't see how it helps the squad, in my opinion. And look, I know we're probably going to be proven wrong this week and they're going to come out and absolutely fucking kill it. But right now, with the information we have, I personally think it was a bit of a concerning game for me. Even, for example, like, I thought Cleary actually played pretty well, but like, his kicking was off and it has been off. And I'm like, is he feeling a bit like the pressure of, is this my jersey? Is it not my jersey? Is this my team? Is it not my team? And or maybe it's just, he's over there. But like, I'm watching him kick goals. I'm like, is that a different ball over there? Is that like not pumped up or something? Because it's like Nathan Cleary is one of the best kickers of the comp.
Mate, he's hardly making the distance on a lot of them. It's very strange to watch him kick at the moment. Like, you're watching, you're like, it's accurate, but that's not going to make it. And it quite often doesn't at the moment.
Like, not making, you know how easy it is for a kicker to make the distance? And we're talking about literally one of the best kickers we've seen since Cooper Cronk, arguably better. Like, it's just, it's bizarre. Maybe it is purely a Nathan Cleary thing, but I just feel like from the get-go, in my opinion, it should have been like, Cleary, mate, this is your team. You're the back-to-back 7. You're the next fucking GOAT, essentially. This is your team. Take it and run. And what's interesting is that Cooper Cronk actually, said similar sentiments of, was it Cooper or Mickey Innes? Anyways, one of them said, like, you can't really give Cleary the side. Don't have him, am I 7? Am I not 7? What do you got there, Guru?
I was just going to say, like, I don't understand, as you said, Kempy, why they moved Munster to fullback. I mean, you've got Val Holmes, you've got Latrell, you've got 2 guys that can play fullback. I can't fathom a reason why you wouldn't just give Munster and Cleary more time together. I don't understand what we gained in any way, shape or form out of moving Munster to fullback against Lebanon when we were home.
Mm. Yeah, it's just bizarre. And like, it's almost as if this push of, I'm still not sure who the 7 is. I'm still not sure. You know what I mean? That seems like the only purpose of putting DC on the field. Like, as you just rightly said, Valentine Holmes can go back to fullback if Teddy needs to come off.
Yeah.
We've got Tuolangi, we've got Campbell Graham, we've got Latrell Mitchell, we've got Jackie Whiten. You got fucking million centres and outside backs that could get a run.
I posted something about it the other day, and Latrell commented saying, we've been running with our best 17 on the training paddock for a few weeks, which I'm sure they have, but I'm sorry, it doesn't look like it. It really doesn't.
Is it Allen Iverson? Is Allen Iverson? We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. It's practice, man. Come on, man. Like, Hey, Charlie Mitt, love Charlie Mitt, love him. And obviously, all those players, like they're going to be confident in their ability. And even Teddy came out and said, we still believe we're the... But the amount of preseasons I've done where I literally thought I was Darren Lockyer, and then I came out and got absolutely fucking towed up in the first few games. Like, games are what matter. Games are what matter. Mate, I think we're all in the same boat in regards to that. Look, it sounds too negative because there are a lot of positives. There are a lot of positives. When Mal didn't run Cam Murray out on the edge, I was like, oh my God, are you serious? But when he brought him on in the middle, I was like, I actually don't mind that. I actually don't mind that because of the speed of the play of the ball. And so I got to give Mal some credit there. I don't know if you guys agree. You may disagree. The problem is I want Cam Murray on the field for fucking 80 minutes. But anyway, another positive, Isaiah Yeo is absolutely incredible. Like I know Josh Adokar by default gets the man of the match because of the 5 tries. But Isaiah Yeo, in my opinion, was man of the match. When the going was tough, he was the one that was really breaking things apart. He was absolutely incredible. Latrell Mitchell had some big moments. Cam Munster had some big moments. Tedesco, oh man, he's just a step above, isn't he? Honestly, like he's so good. He's so good. It's a joke. So there was some really good signs there. Like as I said, like Nathan Cleary kicking wasn't great at times, but he still had some really delicate touches. So there were definitely some positives there, especially for like a 20 to 30 minute period. I thought that they really began to glue things together. That's why the change up for me is like, what? Yeah. It just started getting going. What about you? Who was the standouts for you guys?
Yeah, mate, I think you covered the vast majority of them. As you said, Cam Murray, when he came on, he was really good. I know he didn't play in this one, but fuck, you can see a difference when Ben Hunt's not in the team, can't you?
Are we, like, is he definitely injured?
Or yeah, he was rested for that game because he played the 3 previous.
Or something.
Yeah, well, he played the 3 previous games. That's what Mal said. So he'll be coming back into the team this week. Yeah.
Would you not rest in the last game of the group stage and then play him in the knockout game?
Yep.
And then, I don't know. I don't get it.
I'm sorry. Is Ben Hunt playing an extra 25 minutes against Lebanon? Is it going to be catastrophic? Like, I personally I understand he's played the 3 games, unless there is a niggle there, which we don't know about. But if not, I would have picked our best 17. I would have run out with our best 17 and played to our best 17 game plan.
Honestly, and this, and maybe they were injuries or whatever, by game 2, I'm picking my 17 and I'm sticking with them. Like by game 2 of the World Cup. Game 1, I'm giving people opportunities. Game 2, I'm picking my best 17 and I'm sticking with it unless there's injuries or niggle injuries or whatever. But like I do have this like quite strong feeling that we're all going to be proven wrong this week. Like I got this strong feeling that they're going to come out, play incredibly, and we're going to be like, oh, you know what? Are we questioning a bloke that won 8 Origins in a row? Yeah, we were. But I would be lying if I didn't say that these questions are there for me. I would be lying if I didn't.
I'm still backing us, Kempy, in a tight game, and I think we'll be fine. I just don't think we've done ourselves any favours with a lot of decisions that have been made. Like, with the Australian Rugby League team, there's so much superstar talent in there. I honestly think we'll be fine, but we could have given ourselves an easier path to a knockout semi-final with the Kiwis.
And I personally think we've had arguably, potentially better Kangaroos teams versus worse Kiwi sides, and we've lost in games like this. And if we do, and I'm expecting the Kangaroos to win, but in my opinion, the Kiwis have a better pack. They've got the halves that if anyone's going to get over the top of Cleary and Brown, Cleary and Munster, it's going to be Brown and Hughes. They've got a superstar at fullback. There's as much as they haven't played very well, as you said before, Kempy, we know that New Zealand, they can switch it on at any given moment, and they're going to be up for this game.
And the other thing that scares me in that is the Kiwis, albeit by probably underperforming by their standards, have had games that we saw on the weekend with Fiji that they've had to overcome some animosity and dig in and just really grind out wins. The Aussies are maybe a detriment to how good they are. They haven't had a tough game yet, let's be fair. They haven't looked like losing a game, and that's not going to help. And
for all we know, New Zealand might not be the team we've got to worry about. It could be England at home in a grand final if they win.
Yeah, and I think that home factor, we'll get to it, but I think that home factor is becoming resoundingly more strong where you're going, these boys look comfortable. Like they look like they're just playing footy the way they've been playing it all year. So to be clear, guys, like we still think Australia are, I back them in to win the World Cup. But you summed it up perfectly, Timmy. I don't think, in my opinion, we've given ourselves the best run into this game against the Kiwis possible. Because like even little things, like even the question of, is Ben Hunt going to be on as the 14? Like, would you put your house on it? Like I wouldn't. Like if I had a house that I owned, I wouldn't do it.
Are we expecting, so if Hunt's on the bench, are we expecting the rest of the bench to stay as it was? So Pat Carrigan and Lindsay Collins, is that what we're anticipating they'll run with Jake Trbojevic starting?
Surely.
Yeah.
I mean,
once again, wouldn't put my house on it that I don't have.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's what I'm talking about in regards to, like this is how. Anyway. I thought Harry Grant was really good too. Far out, he's special. He's so fucking when he's electric out of dummy half, it just is a sight to behold. There really is. There's really not many players that I can recall that play like him. I just can't. In my time anyway, I'm sure there might be some before my time, but I'm trying to think of a 9 that was similar to Harry. It's just, he's just got his own way of doing things. It's fucking so good. He's so exciting to watch. He's almost like a 7 out of hooker sometimes, the way he just takes control of where they're getting to on the field or having a run, or taking a few extra steps. But the crazy thing is that 7s and 6s can still work with him, whereas we've seen other 9s in the past where they're too dominant and they take the ball when they shouldn't be taking the ball. And you've got the 7 putting his hands up going, fuck me. Harry Grant seems to select the perfect time every time to take control of the game and run the ball or pass it to who he wants to. Outside of that, Liam Martin was really good. Angus Crichton has been good. Stoked for Jake Trbojevic. The thing is when you look at this team and each person, individually, they all played pretty well. Like individually, they all there was a couple errors here or there, but individually they were all pretty good. It's just a bit that doesn't seem to be clicking as much. Josh Addo-Carr, I mean, is he a lock-in for Origin next year, no matter what, or what are we talking about here, boys?
I'm not sure if he is, to be honest with you. I want to say yes, mate, but I don't pick the fucking team. We know who picks the team, and I can't say anyone's a lock that's not named James Tedesco. I don't think. Yeah,
who absolutely knows with it. And apologies for sounding like a broken record on this one and my roaming outside backs rant. It's at least once a week on average, sometimes twice. But when Addo-Carr supported for that try through the middle, I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, imagine him coming out of his own half just supporting in around the ruck. We know the Fox, he's so quick, he gets an inch of space, he scores every time because no one can get near him one-on-one. The doggies should be taking note and going, when possible, I know Kempit's important, you've spoken in the past about holding your width and all that, but when possible, like the Aussies did, you've got to get him roaming in around that ruck.
And shout out to Josh Addo-Carr, that try that he scored through the middle, he played the ball. It's not very often you see the guy that plays the ball, gets back up. You can talk more about it, Kempi, but I imagine most wingers, if you get to play the ball on third tackle in the middle, you're sprinting straight out to your wing to get back out there. Fox he's still just alert of what's happening and put himself in that spot.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's a good example of, not always good to have a 100-kilo winger that can bash the fuck out of every run he has. He makes 20 metres because of post-contact. Sometimes those small wingers that are super fit, they can do things like that. Now, boys, maybe I'm getting hyperbolic here, but this has been something that I've been thinking about this for a couple of years now where I'm I lean into it and I go, oh, no, I better not. But is it time we start considering Josh Addo-Carr one of the greatest wingers of all time?
I don't think it's unfair, mate. He's obviously, achieved so much at Melbourne. What's his try scoring record, Matty? What sort of ballpark are we in now? I personally think he's up there. I don't know if I want to put him in with Wendell and Lottie and these sort of guys, ET and those sort of fellas. But
I ask you this: what has Wendell done in rugby league that Addo-Carr hasn't done?
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's, and the point you made before, Wendell was the 100-kilo monster who could beat the living shit out of you, and he could also run as fast as the wind, so it probably makes him a little bit more intimidating. But yeah, I mean, Fox, he's dominated Origin, he's dominating Kangaroos.
So he's got 118 tries in 150 NRL games, and then Origin's similar, 12 games, 10 tries.
And how many premierships has he got? What are we talking, 3?
So he won two. 17 and 20. Yeah, 2.
Yeah, wow. I don't think it's unfair, Kempy. How old is he?
I know, 27, I think.
27.
Wow.
So again, I understand that like people, they don't really want to go there yet, and I get it. I'm not saying he's the greatest, but I think there's an argument to begin to be made that he deserves to be in that conversation of one, at least like in the conversation. Timmy, am I getting crazy here or what?
Not getting crazy, no, mate. Like his record speaks for itself. You boys just rattled off a shit ton of tries, a couple of premierships. What's he had? 12 games for the Blues. In 2 weeks' time, he may be a World Cup winner and he could be finishing the tournament pretty likely as the top try scorer. Dom Yong's not too far off him, but looking that way. So his credentials speak for themselves. As you said, probably he'll be in the conversation 100% by the end of his career. He could be one of the greats by the end of his career. I hate recency bias and I hate getting too caught up in things off the back of 5 tries for your country, but you're not being crazy by talking about it, Kempy.
And I mean, he might get top try scorer. Mate, for me, he's my favourite for player of the tourney at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just think that one thing we're forgetting, boys, is he's most likely going to break the most tries ever in a World Cup for an Australian player. He's a try off it. I'm pretty sure he's a try off it.
He's also he's also 27 with 51 career tries. Like another 6 or so good years in him.
I think that if he can have real success at Canterbury, that really changes the conversation. Like if he can win a comp at Canterbury and be as important to that team as he is right now, like we're talking about him as a potential captain next year. Not many wingers at 27. Yeah.
I was about to say, we are talking about Addo Carr as the captain of a club. Tell me another winger that you would send to another club and you would consider, we would be going, yeah, the winger should be captain. I just think he is the perfect modern day superstar. Hasn't really done anything that bad off the field. He's super charismatic. He's super explosive on the field. He's a highlight machine. Like, what else could you want out of a winger? Honestly, what else could you want out of a winger?
Like all good superstars, he started at the Tigers.
Oh, you had to do that, Guru. Sorry, Tigers fans. We should have. Trigger warning. I just think that I just want to give him his flowers while it's at the moment, because I don't think, I know everyone, like, he's kind of like this in his own lane of superstar, but I just don't know if anyone sits back and goes, hang on a sec, this bloke might be one of the greatest wingers we've ever seen. Like, when you look at what he's achieved, at least in the modern era of rugby league, I know you can talk about ones in the past or whatever, modern era of rugby league, I'd have to say, like, fuck, he does all the tough stuff. He's one of the best finishers we've ever seen. He's basically like Steve Renouf in the open field. That's how beautiful it looks when he just gets to glide, and he's done everything. I was
just about to say to you, mate, for me, like, the best winger of the last probably 15 years is Brett Morris, just because he was so consistent. But then I sat there and went, how many bad games do you see Fox play realistically?
Exactly. It's just, and also, like, everything he brings off the field as well. Like, I just think he should be in the combo at the very least. I'm just such a fan of the Fox. Like, I'm such a fan. He's just so good for the game. You know, he didn't have the easiest upbringing either, and what he's managed to achieve as a person, and like, is pretty incredible. Anyway, I think that shout out to Paddy Garrigan, came on 31 minutes, 123 meters. Fuck, he's a dog. He's a dog. Thank God he's a Bronco. Now, Lebanon, I mean, I don't really have that much time. Sorry, guys, but I just want to give them a massive, massive wrap. What an incredible series. And think about the confidence. And also think about a lot of young Lebanese boys and girls that watched this tournament and said, oh, I want to try rugby league. We have a massively growing Lebanese population in especially Sydney, but in Australia, Lebanon, incredible. What an incredible series. And Chica, what a great coach. Because, like, if there's one thing that the best thing they did, and Mitchell Moses and Dwahi, I think you say it now, they weren't out-coached by anyone. That's for sure. Their systems were good. They were getting to the right place on the field. They won the battle of field position against Australia. Think about that. They won the battle of field position against Australia. The difference is we got Val Holmes running for bloody 260 metres or 50 metres or whatever. He was good. We got Latrell Mitchell, who was just, you know what I mean? That was the difference. They won all these things that coaches coach and that players lead. So massive congratulations, Lebanon.
Just shout out to Lebanon. Obviously, they took on the Kiwis after 50 minutes. It was 18-12. And what was the second half against the Kangaroos? 18-6.
Jesus.
Like to think they're even in the conversation of staying 1-12 on both the Kangaroos and the Kiwis in a 3-week span, unbelievable.
Michael Checker takes Lebanon to a quarterfinal in a World Cup and rattled some big teams. Plays a quarterfinal against Australia, and then 2 days later, goes and coaches the Argentinian national rugby union team to a win over England. That is mind-blowing to me. I knew that he was the Argentinian coach, but I assumed that when he was looking after Lebanon that he'd given up that role or whatever, and then someone said, yeah, in 2 nights' time he's coaching him against England. I was like, holy shit, that is impressive.
Yeah, and it's not against some tiny team either. We're talking about England, and they're considered one of the top 3 teams in the world, and he went there with Argentina and beat them. It's just incredible. I mean, I know it's a small sample size, and I know he'd be getting paid way more to be an international coach, but I tell you what, if a club needed a coach, I'd be at least interviewing to see how much he knew about rugby league, because he seems to be a very good man manager. Matter of fact, Mitchell Moses came out and said it's the most he's ever been out. He's never had a coach get him up for the game the way Chica did.
I get stressed out if I'm tossing up between a bloke mid or a bloke full strength. He's got 2 national teams to worry about. Oh,
crazy.
No, thank you.
So massive congratulations to the Lebanon side. It's just incredible. So good for the game. Now,